If you're a pilot, you've probably been to air shows and marveled at some of the things the pilots do with their airplanes. From the ground, it all looks so easy, but it's not. It's hard work. A tight, safe, professional air show requires meticulous planning, first-rate airmanship, constant situational awareness, escape routes if things should go wrong, and a high regard for the safety of the pilots and the people watching the air show. In short, air shows require complete professionalism.
How does that differ from what we do? After all, few of us will ever fly in an air show or put our airplanes through those kinds of paces. Well, in fact, it shouldn't be different. Every flight, even a short hop around the patch, requires the same professionalism demanded of airshow pilots.
Let's look at some of the actions that mark a pilot as a professional. A professional pilot isn't simply one who gets paid for flying, but one who approaches his or her flying in a professional manner. A lot of these actions we take for granted, but if we don't do them, we're not being professional in our approach. All flights begin with a plan. That doesn't just mean filing a flight plan or notification. It means planning our flight so that we have all contingencies covered, that we have a thorough understanding of the route, destination, and alternate airport weather, and that we have a backup plan if the weather or the airplane turns sour. Before every flight, we do a complete pre-flight check of the airplane, not just the first flight of the day. We check the fuel for contamination. We check the oil level and look for the proverbial bird's nest. Once inside the airplane, we follow the checklist and not our memory. We take a good look around us before we start taxiing and before moving on to the active runway, and we look ahead and up before we start our takeoff roll. An airplane taking off at one end of a runway while another is landing at the other end has happened before. In the air, we constantly check our progress against the plan. For instance, if our planned ETA for a certain point is 10 minutes from now, and 15 minutes later we're not there yet, we should be reevaluating the effects of the wind or questioning whether something has happened to the airplane to cause it to lose airspeed. We are especially careful in busy airspace around uncontrolled airports. We always broadcast our intentions on the appropriate radio frequency, and we keep a good watch for other traffic, and not just in the air. Are we prepared to suddenly pull it up and go around when that maintenance truck suddenly appears on the runway as we're about to land? What we're talking about here is situational awareness. Situational awareness, according to one scientific study, consists of all the knowledge that is accessible and can be integrated into a coherent picture, when required, to assess and cope with a situation. Pilots must maintain situational awareness in order to make sound judgments and decisions. Situational awareness develops as the pilot perceives the situational elements such as weather, aircraft instrumentation, clearances, and so on, and projects this information into the future to make or modify plans. The development and maintenance of situational awareness is progressively impaired by inadequate information or inaccurate interpretation of the information, or both. Lack of situational awareness is a major factor in controlled flight into terrain accidents. That's where an airplane under complete control of the pilot flies into the ground without the crew realizing the imminent danger.
Every time we fly, we need a thorough, complete plan for each flight. A thorough understanding of en route and destination weather, a backup plan, and continuous situational awareness. And if something unusual happens, we have to first fly the airplane and second sort out the problem. We should not attempt step 2 without first completing step 1. I'm Mike Dweron, inviting you to return next week to fly with us through the Overcast.